We did how many rounds? We probably did at least 8 straight.
Yeah, but you in the bag for about 8 too.
Yeah.
That's good. You're not in bad shape.
Just got put up my mind.
The rematch for Lamont Roach and Gervonta Davis has just suffered a major setback after Gervonta Davis suffered a hand injury in training. It's the kind of injury one of Tank's lightweight rivals and World Boxing Council lightweight champion suffered some months ago that saw his fight suspended for 4 months until he healed from a surgery. Gervonta Davis was in the gym, just as he promised after the first fight against Lamont Roach, where he got the first draw of his career. While training, Tank encoded to work more on his punches to improve his punch power, seeing it had little to no effect on Lamont Roach. He's been doing some weightlifting and has been hitting heavy pads and punching bags. As he hit the pads over and over again, he hit so violently that one of those hits gave him a devastating injury. In pain, he laid on the floor, he was treated, and his hand was bandaged. Now the biggest fear of many is if he'll be needing surgery or not. Should he need a surgery, then we will see the Gervonta and Lamont Roach rematch get postponed for a couple of months until Tank fully recovers. Gervonta Davis has not had a good 2025, his plans have changed, and that fight against Lamont Roach Jr. last March hit him hard in his pride, and it seems that also in his future, as it is still uncertain what his next challenge will be. Everything changed in the 9th round of his fight against Lamont. Tank put his knee on the canvas and went to his corner to wipe his eyes because of a supposed grease that caused him to burn. The referee, Steve Willis, did not consider this a knockdown, which influenced the judges to declare a draw on the scorecards. The result was controversial, as many saw Roach Jr. as the winner. The reality is that the controversy only worsened over time, as the New York State Athletic Commission had to intervene, but without success to change the result. A possible rematch has been rumored for this summer, but for now there is no news, while Gervonta remains in total silence and does not show that revealing side that we are used to in social networks. Retirement is something that has been on Gervonta Davis's mind for months, to the point of stating that 2025 was going to be his last year as an active boxer. But for now, he has reserved his comments on hanging up his gloves. In this case, his trainer, Kenny Ellis, spoke to Mill City Boxing about the possibility of retirement for the Baltimore native and a fight against Shakur Stevenson.
What do you think about, Lamont Roach and Tank's rematch, though?
It'll be a good fight. Good fight.
Yeah. There were like some rumors saying that June 21st, T-Mobile Arena in Vegas.
I haven't heard anything, I don't.
Tank is not told when to move, but that's boxing. Anything can happen. You never know. Tank might retire, man. You have to wait and see what he does, Kenny commented. Whatever Tank does, I'll respect it. If he goes on, he has my support. If he retires, he has my support, were his last words on the subject, generating a lot of uncertainty among Davis's fans. What a butterfly effect that fight against Lamont Roach Jr. caused. With each passing day, the boxing community becomes more and more eager to get definitive news on a rematch between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach. The highly disputed majority draw outcome of their March 1st fight, combined with the controversy that came in the fight's 9th round when Davis took a knee in the middle of the ring and wasn't penalized for it, has made a rematch between these two champion boxers one of the most anticipated fights for the rest of 2025.
I don't pay that stuff my mind unless certain people post it. You know,
Yeah.
certain networks, certain people, and once they post it, then it's on. But other than that, it's just the internet talking. You know, what I mean?
Tell me what state of mind is Tank now in?
Tank is Tank. He good. A lot of room.
All indications are that a rematch is on the way. However, the question is more about when this fight will occur. Several reporters have asserted that June 21st seems to be the most discussed date at this point, and that Las Vegas is the most likely city where it will take place. However, with nothing set in stone, there are still just reports. A Tank Roach rematch could happen as early as June 21st in Las Vegas, sources told Show. Both sides are now committed to running it back. What's for sure is that Lamont Roach has been extremely active on social media ever since the March 1st fight ended, and he has done multiple interviews where he's sharing his side of the fight and campaigning for the rematch to come sooner rather than later.
Especially like for some reason I haven't heard anything from this, but the only one that I've seen that was like quite odd to me, and I'm pretty sure you heard it because you're a fan of her, is Clarissa Shields saying something about Tank got evicted or something like that.
And at one point during his April 8th interview with boxing icon Andre Ward on the All the Smoke Fight podcast, Roach gave a positive update about his rematch with Tank. "We are trending in the right direction," Roach said of rematch negotiations. "We are trending in the right direction. I hope we can make an announcement soon. I hope we have a decision soon. That's all I'ma say. But we are trending in the right way," he added. Perhaps the biggest mistake Lamont Roach made was beginning to believe that the injustice could be reversed, that he could still become a two-division champion and end Gervonta Davis's perfect streak. But as we know, nothing of that sort has happened.
Did you hear that?
Hell no. Hell no.
I said that's crazy.
I don't know where that came from.
Yeah, she said it, and I haven't heard that from nobody.
No. If that was the case, it'd be all over.
On March 1st, Roach Davis faced each other in an instant classic, marred by one controversial decision. During the latter rounds, Tank took a knee and should have been counted as a knockdown according to the rules. However, referee Steve Willis let the fight continue without any penalty, resulting in a majority draw. It was a bittersweet outcome for the Reaper, who had begun to believe he'd done enough to win. However, a glimmer of hope emerged when the New York State Athletic Commission started reviewing the matter. Even World Boxing Association President Gilberto J. Mendoza backed the Washington native, declaring the knee should have been counted as a knockdown. Furthermore, with reports and rumors suggesting that the New York State Athletic Commission was going to overturn the decision, Roach's hopes flickered back to life.
Man, AI crazy, but they've been jumping lately too. Whole bunch of different stuff, man. I be laughing my ass off.
Ain't that the truth? Ain't that the truth? Speaking of, I seen Jalil Hackett's Twitter. He was talking about what possibly moving.
Let me repeat. I stand by what I expressed last Sunday in Ring Magazine based on my 30 years plus experience. Taking a knee without a punch shall be ruled a knockdown. It affected the result of the fight. But things once again came crashing down when the New York State Athletic Commission upheld the referee's decision due to a technical issue restricting them from reviewing the footage. That was another gut punch for Lamont Roach. He was ready for a reversal, or at least some clarity, after being involved in such a controversy. Now, it seems like he has finally gotten one that he didn't like a bit. Recently, the 29-year-old sat down with Andre Ward on the All the Smoke Fight podcast. As expected, the March 1st bout was under the microscope. During the conversation, Roach revealed how the officials connected with him after the review. He also explained how the referee's ignorant behavior rubbed him the wrong way.
But somebody got to take the fall. And it ain't going to be him. So, like, they owned up to it. Like, all right, we missed this. They owned up to it. It's like, but they just saying like, all right, we're not going to overturn it though. We're going to, apologize and give you your flowers, but you ain't going to get what you want. That's basically what I got from it.
During the conversation, Ward asked, New York State Athletic Commission, what was the reason they gave you for not overturning the decision? Roach replied that according to NYSAC, a counted knockdown would have changed the fight completely. Not just the score, but the approach of Gervonta Davis as well. If it would have been a score to knockdown, there's no definite outcome of how Gervonta would have responded or fought with the remaining rounds to go. It was a vague statement, one that Roach, the World Boxing Association featherweight champion, had to interpret himself, and he did. What I took from that is basically, yeah, we messed up, but somebody got to take the fall, and it ain't going to be him, he explained. Roach further added that he believed that it was New York State Athletic Commission's way of accepting that the official messed up. However, overturning the decision at this point in time would be damaging to their reputation.
And you ain't heard nothing from the ref. He didn't make no statement. He ain't make no statement. That was, I ain't gonna lie, man. That was from him. That's sad. A lot of times that's what the commissions do, though, man. If something bad happened with a ref, they'll protect the referee. Yeah. And they'll try to get in front of it, and they'll have a spokesperson come out, and it's like, yeah, that's cool sometimes, but if you drop the ball like that and that affects my legacy, my livelihood, because y'all negotiating for a rematch right now, so.
They owned up to it. It's like what they just said. All right, we are not going to overturn it though. We're going to apologize and give you your flowers, but you ain't going to get what you want. That's basically what I got from it, he concluded. Though it didn't satisfy him, Roach felt relieved after getting that well-deserved explanation, something that will motivate him during the rematch. However, referee Steve Willis' silence even after so long has left a sour taste in his mouth. He ain't making no statement, Roach stated. Ward jumped in, calling Willis's inaction a poor move. He stressed that officials owe clarity when their calls sway a fighter's legacy. So, an apology is the least they could give to keep things fair for Roach? Well, the decision has indeed left a dent in Lamont Roach's legacy, restricting him from a career-defining victory. Furthermore, as Ward noted, it has also affected his bargaining power for the rematch.
130, I was fighting at 130. Obviously, he was already at the championship level. He got catapulted up there by doing what he was supposed to do, knocking everybody out that they put in front of him. Got Floyd behind him. I was on the hush. I was coming up, though. He's a small guy. I knew he wasn't going to go too far. So, and I knew he can rumble. I knew that he'd be as... I'm not surprised at how good he is or what he's done to other people.
How can anyone forget the things that happened during the March 1st fight? Honestly, what else could that night have been, if not the boxing world's version of a high-octane action film, one twist after another, with no time to breathe? While the fight drew more than 19K fans and reportedly earned Gervonta Davis between $15 and $20 million, Lamont Roach Jr. walked away with a career-high $3 to $5 million for the draw, according to Forbes. All that said, it's pretty clear this match had the potential to rake in a lot more, with all the drama that happened in Brooklyn Fight Night.
Getting ready for Jamel, he was already champ. He was like, I handle that business, man. Make some money together. So you ain't gotta tell me twice. That's how it's supposed to be. So it's just like all the signs was there. All the signs was there. All I needed was...
While Gervonta Davis is unusually quiet, Roach is here, back in the spotlight, confirming yet another rumor that had the boxing world buzzing right after the match. Trying to guess what this is about? Here's a hint. June 28th, 1997. Ring any bells? We're talking about the moment Mike Tyson bit Evander Holyfield's ear in the third round of their fight, an act that cost him 2 points and eventually got him disqualified after biting Holyfield's ear for a second time. Fast forward 28 years, and fans were left wondering, did Gervonta Davis try something shockingly similar in the ring with Roach, while Lamont Roach Jr. is here to clear the air?
Talking about it.
Oh, whoa. Course, another comparison I don't want to make to Mike Tyson, but
Now that's crazy. That's what he did.
In a recent chat on Andre Ward's YouTube channel, All the Smoke Fight, Lamont Roach Jr. dropped something unexpected. So the multiple world champion in 2 weight classes, Andre Ward, asked the Reaper straight up, did Gervonta Davis bite you? Because yeah, there's a clip floating around, and it's got people talking. At first, Roach brushed it off. He told Andre Ward that after the fight, even his dad brought it up, saying, man, he tried to bite you. Roach admitted he hadn't felt anything at the moment. He just thought he'd taken a few punches and moved on. But then he saw the replay. Boom, there it was. If you missed the details, don't worry. We've got you covered with a quick recap. Toward the end of round 5, things got heated. The Baltimore native started talking trash while throwing 3 back-to-back left hands.
You know, that first world title, or whatever the case may be, that can put me in that conversation. When he fought Hector, little do a lot of people know, I got the call for that fight too. It was a little crazy, but I got the call.
Roach then fired right back with words and a flurry of body shots. Then came the clinch. In that tangle, Davis lifted his right shoulder, catching the WBA super featherweight champion under the chin. Roach answered with a quick right hand of his own. Now here's where it gets even wilder. Around the halfway mark of round 6, it looked like Gervonta Davis tried to bite Lamont Roach's ear. No one has officially confirmed it. However, Roach watched the replay later and became convinced that Tank may have gone full Tyson for a second. Even legendary fight commentator Mauro Ranallo caught it live and made a reference to Mike Tyson's infamous ear bite. So, Roach stated when he heard that on the replay, it hit him like, all right, I'm not tripping because they saw it too.
For that fight.
To fight Gervonta or Hector first?
To fight Gervonta.
If that
I was
fight
already
goes
the
through.
mandatory for Hector. They was looking for opponents for him, or whatever the case may be. It might be on the scramble, or whatever the case may be. They didn't get a big fight like they wanted to. So that's why he went to 30 and see if Hector wanted to fight. But I did get the call though. And of course we said yes. We just ain't get a call back.
So y'all was like a backup.
I wouldn't say a backup. You never know how serious it was.
To top it off, even his sister called it out during the fight. Yet somehow, Roach missed it entirely in the heat of the moment. He revealed that his sister said something like, "No, I ain't going to lie. I saw that during the fight." His final take? Obviously he didn't bite me, but it looked like 9 times out of 10 that it looks like he tried to bite me. And honestly, if you've seen the clip, you might be leaning the same way. On top of that, he recently revealed something else. A $40 million payday is not something Gervonta Davis would ever consider skipping. Yet, he did. Why? Just a few hours ago, Lamont Roach Jr. addressed the rumors that Gervonta Davis took it easy on him. He did so during an interview with Andre Ward. The Washington native reminded everyone that Jake Paul was next in line to fight Gervonta Davis, but only if Davis had defeated Roach.
Couldn't wait. So then, when it really, when we really started talking business, that's when we started weighing our options for real then. Because I did have something on the table. I had something on the table. So people who think I'm taking this fight for money, that wasn't the thing. Because I actually had an offer.
They say Gervonta Davis is supposed to fight Jake Paul next after he was supposed to clean me up, Roach said. He moreover added, Jake Paul's going to guarantee you about $40 million if the fight is with a notable person, which is Tank. And let's be honest, with Jake Paul guaranteeing about $40 million for that fight, who in their right mind would risk that bag just to go easy and about? Lamont Roach Jr. even tried demonstrating the practicality of the situation by questioning the host, Andre Ward. Would you ever sacrifice what you worked so hard for, your record, your legacy, just for a quick win? Obviously, with a grin, the 41-year-old answered, it might be somebody out there that would, but I ain't the guy. Basically, Roach is calling it how he sees it. There's no way Gervonta Davis would risk that kind of money. And there's no chance he'd jeopardize his reputation just to take it easy in a fight.
Offer that was higher than the Tank fight.
Oh, for real?
Yes. To defend my belt. So for all the people who think I was, he doing it for a check. That's what I'm saying. I don't even want to shut people up.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
we're doing
my
it for
thing.
a check. We ain't doing it just for the check.
We ain't doing it just for the check,
for
but
sure.
trust me, because don't forget, this is business.
It's prize fighting. Yeah.
It's prize fighting for a reason.
Absolutely.
But I did have a better offer.
The majority draw outcome of the March 1st fight between Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach was one of the more shocking results in recent memory. This isn't because it wasn't a closely contested fight that could have gone either way, with many believing Roach should have deserved the victory, but instead because few people predicted that Roach could compete with Tank in the fight's lead-up. Hindsight is 20/20ths. But given that Davis was constantly talking about wanting to retire and not having the same passion for boxing that he once had before entering the ring against Roach, perhaps the boxing community should have realized that his being a -1,600 favorite was unfounded. And that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.